The Los Angeles Lakers defeated the Minnesota Timberwolves 94-85. I would say the player of the game for the Lakers was Luka Doncic. He had 31 points, so 9 of 20 shooting. But I just want to address the Timberwolves first. One thing I want to say about this team that they came out in this game with a lackadaisical attitude that showed that they didn't really care about winning this game and that they were comfortable and content with just what had happened in game one with that win. That's what I saw the first quarter. I saw a team that was lazy and just happy to be there. Just happy to be there in Staples or whatever you call that arena now. I think it's Crypto. But I didn't see a sense of urgency. I just didn't see it from the start. And I'm just going to call out Anthony Edwards for that. This guy is a straight up clown. I'll say it again. He's a straight up clown. I saw this one clip a friend of mine sent to me prior to the game starting where this guy came up to Luka Doncic during the shoot around and started talking trash and running his mouth and whatnot. And I have to say, I am tired of this guy's antics. And I say this as a guy who wants the Timberwolves to win this series, but I feel Anthony Edwards is a big time front runner. He just runs his mouth, he showboats, but he doesn't come through when you need him to come through. I'm just being honest. I can even go back to last year during the Nuggets series. What really pissed me off about this guy was he choked in game 7. He didn't show up in that game, but he got carried by his teammates, and then he rubbed it in Nikola Jokic's face, taunting him at the end of the game. I thought that was uncalled for because I didn't feel he had the right to run his mouth since he didn't do enough to win that game last year. He got carried by his teammates and he was acting like a big time front runner after they won that game. And I felt tonight he was a front runner in the sense that he talked a lot of shit to Doncic during shoot around and he just didn't come through. He didn't play with any aggression from the start of the game. I didn't see it. I just didn't see it at all, and I want him to succeed. I despise the Lakers, but he didn't start off with the right type of attitude. He did have some stretches where he played well, but overall, this game was a mediocre game for him. 10 of 22 from the field, 2 of 8 from 3. He has to be better. I said in my preview video of this series that for Minnesota to win the series, one of the keys to them winning the series is that Anthony Edwards has to average somewhere between 27 to 30 points a game. He has to dominate this series, and he has to do it on high efficiency. These first 2 games, his efficiency has been trash. I don't see him being efficient, and I don't see him dominating. He hasn't dominated these first 2 games. He's been complete garbage, and he needs to turn it up. He needs to take it to another level. I see all this talk from his camp. I hear in game 1 that his assistant coach on the Timberwolves was saying how they're treating the series more like Michael versus Magic in '91, in which Michael took out Magic, and now it's Anthony Edwards' turn to take out LeBron to have the same type of mentality, and they're pushing it. But I don't see it. I don't see it all these first 2 games. I remember '91. Michael came at Magic aggressively, and he showed in the first 2 games that he was a better player despite getting a split in the first 2 games. You never had to question MJ's competitiveness. I had to question Anthony Edwards. This guy needs to play a lot better. He needs to step up. He needs to dominate these next 2 games in Minnesota if his team is going to have any chance of winning this series. That's one thing I just wanted to point out. I would say, I guess one of the positives, if you're a Timberwolves fan, is that Julius Randle played great tonight. He had 27 points, so 9 of 17 shooting, 2 of 4 from 3. So that was good. The other thing I'm going to point out in this game is the Laker refs were out tonight. They were calling so many bullshit fouls left and right. You had Naz Reid and DiVincenzo, I believe, get 4 fouls in the first half. It was a bunch of horse shit, bunch of BS. But at the same time, I got to call it the Timberwolves. They didn't come out with an aggressive attitude from the start of the game. You have to come out aggressively against a team like the Lakers, knowing they're going to get favorable treatment and they just didn't have the right attitude, and it hurt them towards the end of this game when they started making their run. They started coming back. They were so far into a hole that they had dug up that these calls really did influence any chances they had of coming back. They influenced the momentum of the game, and it really stopped them from making a full successful comeback. But these types of things happen when you don't play seriously at the start, and then you try to play seriously towards the end of the game. That you had to play a nearly flawless game to come back when you're down by 20 points, especially when you're on the road, knowing that the calls are going to go against you. That's just one thing I had to point out in that regard. But yeah, there were a lot of bullshit fouls. LeBron flopped a lot in this game. He flopped like a bitch. He cried like a bitch throughout the game. But I think one of the biggest observations I made on the Lakers end is that it's very obvious this is not LeBron's team anymore. It's clearly not his team. It is Luka Doncic's team. He is by far the best player on this team. If the Lakers have any more success in these playoffs, he should be getting all the credit. LeBron should not be getting any of it. LeBron is now his sidekick. He carried LeBron to the finish line tonight. LeBron actually looked very old and exposed throughout this game. He shot a putrid 8 of 19 from the field, and he got blocked quite a few times again. I've noticed the Timberwolves these first two games have made LeBron primarily a jump shooter. He's not able to get any easy buckets in the paint. I think he had one successful drive tonight in the paint, but all the other attempts are just swatted, and he was back to being a jump shooter. He got blocked a few times. He got stripped a bunch of times. He was crying to the refs for bailouts, and he got bailed out a few times with bullshit calls. But it's very clear LeBron is looking old in this series, and he's going to need Luka to carry him to the finish line, to hold his hand and pull him towards the finish line because he's getting exposed. So he should be thanking Luka for bailing him out tonight, because we probably would be talking about how old he looks if Luka did not dominate this game. That's just one major point I want to bring up. The other thing I wanted to bring up is how the Minnesota Timberwolves did not win the rebounding battle at crucial times in this game. Granted, if you look at the box scores, they got out-rebounded 41-34. I saw some plays where the Timberwolves were just straight up lazy, and they allowed the Lakers to get like 4 or 5 offensive rebounds on one possession, and these were like back breakers. They have to be more aggressive on the rebounds. They need to start gang rebounding. I saw Gobert just stand around a few times when some of these rebounds just went by him. If he just made an effort, he could have grabbed some of them, and that could have made a huge difference in this game. So that's just one thing I want to point out. But I expect the series to be very competitive in Minnesota. I think, unfortunately, Timberwolves will probably split one of the two games at home with the Lakers. They're not disciplined enough to win both from what I've seen of this team. They're a stupid team mentally. I hope they prove me wrong. I definitely hope they prove me wrong and they somehow are able to win both these games at home. But I expect a split. I think Luka will continue to dominate and get his numbers. There's nothing you can really do about that. But the rest of the Lakers, they can be contained if the Timberwolves are disciplined and they stop making stupid mistakes. LeBron has been pretty much shut down these first two games, and I think he'll continue to struggle in this series. I don't expect him to get above 30 points ever in this series. Yes, I'm going to call that now. I don't expect him to have a great dominant game ever in this series. I think Luka will be the guy to have these games. I think if anything, the Timberwolves should force Luka to score 40 or 50 and just go hard at LeBron. That's actually the strategy I would do if I was the Timberwolves. Go at LeBron aggressively. Take him out of the game. See how he reacts, because I think LeBron, if frustrated, can take down the whole entire Lakers team with him, especially if he sees that Luka's getting more shine than him. It's a possibility, but they should go at LeBron aggressively. Go at him full throttle on both ends of the court, and don't waste time really going after Luka. You just have to learn to live with all the points he's going to get. I would concede 40 or 50 points a game to Luka, as crazy as that sounds, just to stop LeBron and the rest of them. And if you still lose that way, so be it. But That's the way I look at it.